So Sony just announced that they're getting rid of physical games in 2028. If you are anything like me, you have heeded the call to preserve physical media in the best way you can. I'm not here to convince you that playing on a CRT monitor is the best way to experience basically any console game, because if you clicked on this video, you already know that. What you probably don't know is how to get these old freaking things working on them. I mean, this is what we're working with here. VGA, this alien-ass looking cable. If you're anything like me, you'd probably never use VGA until you got one of these.
And that is what I'm here to help y'all with today.
I'm not here to waste a second of your time. The first thing you need to do is go find a cheap HDMI to VGA adapter and then never take that bitch off the thing. Just keep that connected. This is your new cable attached to your monitor now. You're in possession of a CRT monitor, so you probably already know that one of the best things about CRTs is that they completely destroy lag, which gives you a super unique advantage to flat TVs, and is going to save you so much money. The fact that you do not need a scaler, all you really need to do is get the picture to show up on this bitch and also get the audio working. Because as we all know, there are no speakers anywhere on this thing. Probably the greatest thing about these things is that all you need to do is get a 480p picture up on here and you're good, bro. Notice I said 480p and not 480i. These crusty old consoles are 480i only. They were created for these crusty old TVs. Just kidding, I love you, you're amazing, beautiful. So if you go on basically any YouTube video, these people are going to tell you that you need a scaler, a proper scaler, in order to avoid lag. And these scalers are expensive as hell, but you know what isn't? These things. This thing was $12. Maybe like S-Video. I know what AV is, but what is S-Video, bro? What the hell is that? This, brother, is your new best friend for all of your retro consoles. And I mean retro, like NES, like SNES, or N64. For Genesis or original Nintendo, you probably want to go with composite for the dithering effect, but also S-Video looks amazing on Genesis. It's basically as close to RGB as you're going to get without modding your console. Which is another thing. All of these people are going to tell you that you need RGB SCART for your old consoles.
Brother, no. No, you do not.
Original Nintendo only does composite and RF out of the box. Pretty sure if you clicked on my video, you clicked on it to save money, not to spend hundreds of dollars RGB modding your consoles because some guy on the internet told you that that's the only way to get good video quality out of it. I'm telling you that anything is going to look good on this monitor. Anything, even composite. So I really do highly recommend using S-Video for its balance of compatibility, video quality, and also budget friendliness. Most S-Video cables are less than $10 for your consoles. This scaler was only $10. This S-Video switcher box was only $10. S-Video also comes with the big convenience of using basically just a better version of the composite signal, which means that you can have composite and S-Video hooked up to the same switcher box, which makes it really convenient for retro consoles. It's like any console that isn't using just HDMI can be hooked up through S-Video. So if the console you're using doesn't do RGB out of the box, bam, this is your best option. Because basically if you want RGB quality using SCART or component cables, you are going to need a scaler because these consoles don't do a resolution that these monitors support. So by using S-Video instead, you will save a ton of money and time not wasting RGB modding your console. Now, if you have a fun console like the Wii, the GameCube, the Xbox 360, the PS3, those all do at least 480p out of the box through component. Then your console is already outputting a resolution that your VGA monitor can read in RGB without any scaling. So, all you need is a cheap component cable. I got this Wii one for $10, and then a cheap component to HDMI converter. Keep in mind you'll probably want to buy some extra component cables to connect between a switcher box and the HDMI converter. Basically any CRT monitor ever can handle 480p. In order to get the best resolution out of it, you should look at the back of your CRT monitor and look for the model number. Most CRTs out there are documented on the internet and in some kind of fashion, even if it's just a Reddit post of people talking about it. But it's good to look at the maximum resolution of your CRT monitor. For instance, this one can handle up to 1080p, and this one can only handle 720. So, check the maximum resolution of your monitor, and then set the console to that resolution before you start it up. That usually means just going into the settings and just changing the resolution to 480p, making sure it's not on 480i, making sure it's on 480p or whatever resolution your monitor is compatible with. For GameCube games, you just let it load for a second, just let it play for a second. It's gonna start off in 480i, but just give it a second and then it'll change to 480p. It'll change the progressive mode, and then the picture will show up. For the Xbox and other consoles, I'm pretty sure you just check the settings and maybe do that on a regular TV before you go and try and hook it up to your CRT monitor.
Nice thing about components, it doesn't matter if it's 480p or 1080p, you can just hook it up to the same box, which is great. And also the sound is all coming in through separately, which is how we're going to get the sound to work.
And speaking of the sound, so as we established earlier, these monitors don't have their own speakers, so you're going to have to go ahead and get your own external speakers. Next, what you're going to need, if you're going to plug it into any switcher box, is an AV audio to aux adapter like this one. It's technically called an AV to female aux adapter, and you can plug your speaker straight into it. And I've created a super high quality in-depth diagram so I can show you guys how that works. So you're basically going to plug your console into the switcher box like normal. All the consoles should have the video and audio hooked up to it. However, when you're hooking the output of the switcher box into the HDMI converter, only plug in the video. Then plug the adapter I just showed you straight into the output and connect that to your speakers. So that is all well and great for all these consoles that have component output. But what if we only have HDMI? If you're only hooking up one or two consoles, think about what other audio sources they have, like the controller on the PlayStation. Before I had my full setup and adapter, I just had a wire leading from my controller straight into my speakers. Or you can just play with headphones on. And you can plug the switch right into your CRT monitor, and then plug your speakers straight into the headphone jack. You can also have all of your audio run through the same switcher box by converting the HDMI signal to a component signal and connecting it to the same switcher box like goes any of your other consoles. The awesome thing is that since it's a CRT, you don't notice any lag. If you're going to make a setup with all HDMI only consoles, then you can go ahead and set them up the same way as you would with a flat TV and run them through an HDMI switcher. The only difference is you're also going to buy an HDMI audio extractor that you can run the video from the switcher into, and then you can just plug your speakers and your VGA to HDMI cables straight into the audio extractor, and then you've got your video and audio all running through the same switcher. So that should just about cover it for every single type of console you could think of trying to hook up to a CRT monitor. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this was helpful to you, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Share the video with anybody else you know who likes CRTs, and I will see all of y'all in the next video.